can't keep turning a blind eye to segregation and racism in our country. We must take a stand to humanize and decolonize. Behind every face, there is a story that needs to be heard.
You think racism exists still?
Yeah, sometimes, but not really.
Do you think? Well, yeah. How so? Well, at least from where you guys are from, how so?
I think that some people will have things in the back of their head that they might not say, but they think it's out there. I think that they discriminate against people.
Do you think maybe stereotypes exist still?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So, what's an example you think that might be a stereotype that you know?
Black meat, fried chicken.
Do you think racism still exists?
Yes.
Why?
There is too much. Well, I find it's localized to certain areas. Education.
Education. Why do you think that?
I find educated people. I don't know. This is hard, guys. I find educated people to be a little more open-minded.
Open-minded?
Yep. I find people with more education tend to travel a little bit more. So I get to see what's going on in each different part of the country and so forth.
Some of the stereotypes you guys might see or
Chinese drivers are terrible.
Chinese drivers are terrible.
And I am half Chinese, so but it actually might be a little bit of a true stereotype.
Well, have any of you girls ever felt like discriminated against or maybe like looked down on or anything like that?
For me, not that I've noticed. Maybe behind my back, but not to my face. Yeah.
What's some stereotypes that maybe you've encountered in your life?
Or that you've heard.
Or that you've heard, yeah.
All black people like chicken, I guess.
That was mentioned tonight already. That was mentioned again tonight.
What do you think about that?
I think everybody has an opinion. I mean, everybody likes chicken, not just one race.
That's true.
You know, and how Hispanics and blacks are the only ones that pretty much live in mediocrity, and you know, are considered. I guess it's not just
inferior type people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not just blacks or Hispanics, but I think some Caucasian actually, suffer the same thing. Not really, born into a rich family, but more or less are stereotypical because Asians and whites are considered to be smart and they're rich and stuff like that. I never knew what Micronesians was until I went there. You all know what Micronesians are?
No.
Yeah, it's an island.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah, Micronesian people. They're from an island, so that was a race that I wasn't too familiar with. It's kind of strange looking at them, but except I grew accustomed to the way they lived, and I just adapt. Pretty much. Becoming an amphibian and, adapting to your environment. That's just me. I've always been that type of person.
It does. I see bits and pieces here and there at work. We got people from Guatemala, we got people from Mexico, we got blacks, we got whites, and even though they say that even though times are different, I still see it when things get a little heated. I'll see bits and pieces of it. So no matter, I think it's still there. It's just not as out in the open that it used to be. And whether they know it or not, it's still there. And I think it's maybe the way that people are raised, from their fathers or their grandparents, because it was much more of that in those days. I think it's a subconscious thing that is, some people can't stop. It's there, whether it's a little bit or a lot. I do see it a little bit in a lot of people.
Have you ever felt discriminated against?
Matter of fact, yes. My most recent time, and you know of, but I don't think I've really talked to you about it, is that I finished my school for mortuary, And you know, I was trying like hard, you know, to get into a mortuary. You know, I go on my long sleeves, my tie. You know, when I was right here at the Palms Mortuary on Boulder Highway, when I was talking to that guy, Joe Palmer, and I actually got a little comfortable. And when I got a little comfortable, I stuck my hands on his desk. And when I did that, my sleeves went up, and he seen my tattoos, and he told me that he seen my tattoos, you know, and I think that's what stopped me from getting into that place, was because he was telling me how he was going to start me off, and that never happened. And that was before he seen the tattoos, and I think because of the tattoos, I did get discriminated against. I do feel that.
Okay, do you think America should have a national language?
You mean as far as like speaking one language? You know, you see, that kind of takes away from what America is, in my opinion. My opinion is that America, they say, you know, is a free country, and everybody wants to come to America from their countries because they don't like the way that their countries are ran. At least this is my perception of it, where, you know, it doesn't matter what part of the world you're from, they want to come here to make a better life. So if you're going to speak whatever language from your country, to me, that's fine, because, you know, you also got to keep it true to where you're from. You know, and that's my opinion. You know, the United States that's what we're built on. We're built on immigrants, and I don't think that we should just go to one language.
Activity. I love everybody. I'm just saying, in your lousy Instagrams, you don't have to have yourself with walking with black people.
You're originally from Guam, correct?
Yes.
Did you feel any discrimination while in Guam?
No, I mean, Guam is a really small community, but at the same time, everyone knew everyone's business as with a small town. So we felt open enough to be open. Like, you know, we could just be ourselves and no one will judge us. Or like, the big thing there too is when you meet your other half's family, there's no like, oh no, I'm like meeting the girlfriend for the first time, you know, or the family for the first time. It wasn't anything like that. They made you feel comfortable enough to bring them to a party. Hey, this is my girlfriend, you know. It's pretty open. Coming to Vegas now, woo, straight from Guam, oh man, I don't know. It was a shocker, because I didn't know. It was a big world, you know, coming from a small place to a big city. I wasn't sure if I could hold anyone's hand or what the happenings were here, what would happen if I did do this in public or not, but I guess it just took time.
Can you give us an example of a time that you felt discriminated against or just totally uncomfortable?
I mean, there's so many, but so many instances where I felt discriminated against, but one big one was Mandalay Bay. I don't know. I was gonna work, and I did. I was excited. Coming straight from Guam, this was a big job for me, because like you get $7 minimum wage to, you know, the casino making wages out here, you know, and I was excited. I was gonna give them my life, my everything. I was gonna show up on time, not island time, you know. So I was gonna show up on time. So this guy at work asked me about myself. Like, how did you know you were gay? How did you know? Blah, blah, blah. You know, general questions, nothing about sex, nothing about how we connect or anything like that. So I talked about it. I was open, because that's where I came from, an open place. So we're in a small room. I could be open. It's a small room, right? You're my coworker. I got fired for having a sexual conversation in the workplace. I felt so discriminated, but I guess it is what it is, you know? You gotta pick and choose where you talk about it.
Where are you from, sir?
Originally from India, but right now I live in Los Angeles.
Okay, and in the time you've lived here, do you think racism still exists?
I don't think so.
You don't, why?
I never faced any such instance.
Okay.
There are a lot of, maybe you should ask people who came 20 years back, man. Maybe they are now. It's such a global world. No.
Okay. I mean,
To go upon entering the court for pregame warm-ups, a unified statement from the Clipper players wearing their warm-up shirts inside out, so the word Clippers are not across their chests. A statement apparently made regarding the racist comments allegedly made by owner Donald Sterling on a tape that was released by TMZ on Friday, and it's all anyone discussing and anyone thinking about.
Heat players come out to the middle of the floor, take off their logo shirts, and wear their warm-ups inside out. Now, an equipment kid quickly picked up the shirts, not realizing the symbolism. The Heat were showing that they stand with the Clippers players, who did the same thing yesterday, of course. But LeBron quickly told them, hey, put them back. And guys, we need to be clear. Heat players told me they have no beef with their own ownership. In fact, the Heat's Mickey Arison was actually the first owner to come out with a statement condemning Clippers owner Donald Sterling. But as Dwayne Wade said, they wanted to show with that gesture that until the NBA does something about Sterling, all players across the league have an issue.
Our world isn't just black and white. It is a mix of all colors, races, beliefs, and cultures. Taking it back means movements within each individual to humanize. Education and communication is the key. Our group demonstrated stories of individuals showing actions and experiences of stereotypes, racism, and strengths to decolonize. This is our story of resistance and hope.
I'm a Mormon.
I'm Latina.
I am Jamaican.
I'm Cuban American.
I'm Colombian.
I'm Salvadorian.